Again, you may notice it's going to shine through the top as well as the side on both sides. Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the Corsair Dominator Platinum RGB. I did receive this product to review, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product, you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. You can see the nice retail packaging right here, walking us through some of the key tech specs. So, obviously, this is RGB RAM. We have 32 gigabytes. That's going to be two 16 gig sticks. And it's DDR5 with speeds up to 5600 megahertz. It also works with Corsair RGB software. You can see the little IQ logo and branding on there. Now let's go ahead. Let's open this up and look at the contents. Here are all the contents. First up, you can see we have our product literature right here, our safety info, and we have our installation guide in multiple languages, walking us through how to install the RAM, complete with the QR code to a video if you have any questions or need additional help and support. And lastly, we have the RAM itself, two identical sticks, 16 gigabytes each. Check that out. We got the Corsair logo and branding, Dominator Platinum RGB on it. You can see our RGB lights right there. And if we flip it up to the top, you can see it also says Dominator right there. That looks so cool, and it isn't even illuminated yet. You can see it from the side. Here it is from the back side. You can also see all of our pins up close. So everything looks great. Now let's go ahead, let's get this installed and try it out. Now you can see we have the RAM installed right here in our PC. Everything looks great. Look at how nice the RGB colors are on this RAM. Again, you may notice it's going to shine through the top as well as the side on both sides right here. And the Dominator is also illuminated. Everything looks really nice, and it matches really nicely with our other parts and components you can see from MSI and Cooler Master. It ties in really nicely. Now you can see we're in our BIOS settings to confirm our RAM speed. If you haven't done it already with your RAM, you got to make sure that you enable your XMP profile. That'll vary slightly depending on your motherboard. You can see in our instance right here, we're showing our CPU speed and our DDR5 speed. So 5600 megahertz, we do have our XMP profile 1 enabled. Very simple to do in your MSI motherboards. You can see we'll go down to our memory section, and you can see and learn more about our memory right here, and that our XMP profile 1 shows you what that profile is. And then you just go ahead and you click that profile right here, exit out, and you're all set and ready to go. Now you can see we have the Corsair IQ software downloaded on our computer. Check it out. This is going to be the screen you're going to be at where you can choose all your parts and components. So for us right here, you can see we have our RAM selected, and we have a lot of different options we can go over here. You can also see we have different scenes as well too that you can quickly select. So that's really nice. You can see how that's affecting the RAM right now. They look great. Corsair blue, Corsair yellow. You can see a nice static red. We also have some sensors as well too for our system, which is great. So you can view all that right here within the software. We can also configure this RAM in more detail. So first up, we can view the setup right here. So you can see we have 2 sticks installed on 2 out of our 4 available slots. Looks great too. You can see we have a little refresh option here, and that's changing the lighting, which is cool. So you can move that around. We have our lighting effects. So there you go. You can see. So it's controlled by our scenes right now. So we got to disable the scenes, and now we can use our different lighting effects. So you can add a new layer right here. Currently we have a spectrum one, so you can see watercolor spectrum. But we have different options. A color pulse. It's pulsing right now. It can shift. And you may notice for each of these different effects, we have the ability to choose our lighting zone, if it's dim 1 or dim 2 or all. And then speed and direction, depending on the effect as well, you can modify. Colorway is pretty cool. So some neat effects right here. They have a lot of them that we'll quickly go over. You can choose your marquee color. Got the rain effect right there. Some nice raindrops with the random colors. Here's our rainbow effect. Again, you can adjust the speed of the transitions. Here's the rainbow wave. Sequential. That looks pretty cool. So you get the idea here. There's so many customization options for all the different RGB colors. And this is cool too. We can use it as a temperature sensor for our CPU temp if we want. Or you can see we can select our motherboard or our GPU. So that's a quick look at all the effects. Don't forget, again, you can add your own right here or delete as needed. Let's go back to watercolor. Next up, you can see here's the lighting, which is nice. So it's showing us in real time if you're not actually looking at your computer what's going on. Here's our cooling. So you can monitor the temps. We have alerts. We can set up alerts. And then you can see we have our device settings right here where we can check for updates. The RAM will also work with your third-party RGB controls as well. So in this case, since we're using an MSI motherboard, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull it up using Mystic Light. And you can see the RAM shows up right here, Dominator Platinum. We have different styles we can choose, right, depending on what we want. And then select Apply, and you can see it's going to change on the RAM. We can also choose colors. So let's go ahead, let's choose a color right here. We'll hit Apply. And now you can see that's going to change for us. We can go do just a steady effect. So you can see that. And then we can go ahead, let's pull up my favorite personally, Rainbow. And you can see after we hit Apply, everything's still working great as you would expect. So overall, the RAM looks great, but most importantly, it works great. Now, will you notice a difference going from a DDR4 system to a DDR5 system? I would say right now at the time of this video, you won't. So if you're thinking about upgrading your RAM, I would hold off unless you need to build a whole new system. If you're building a new PC, then go ahead, stick with DDR5 because that's the latest and greatest. That will get you the most ROI on your money down the line as more and more games, programs, everything's developed with DDR5 in mind. You'll start to see substantial performance gains. But right now, I would say everything's minimal, especially if you're thinking about getting it just for gaming. I would focus your efforts on maybe upgrading your CPU or your GPU instead of your RAM.